we've got something very exciting, everybody.
Yes.
Right now, we have a very special guest joining us. Please welcome everybody, Mike P from URL.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello. How is everybody doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you, dude? It's good to see you.
I'm doing good. It's good to see you guys too, man.
Yeah.
We always appreciate you being in the chat and being all supportive. So thank you for always doing that.
Yes, I try my best to keep up.
Yeah, it's good to see you now in person, instead of just in the comments.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and actually, so just to give users a brief overview before we get into the nitty gritty, can you just tell our commenters who don't know what battle rap is and what it means to you?
Yeah, I mean, battle rap is basically an aggressive performance art in rhyme format. It's really just one person against another, and there's banter, there's boasting, there's dissing, there's a lot of performance and movement that goes around, and at the end of the day, there's no real winner and loser, but it's debated amongst the community. So it's it's a debatable battle of words. To say the absolute least. It can be very intimidating for people that just started watching or interested in watching, but I think it's a beautiful art form version of hip hop.
So if there's no winner and loser, do you guys ever have like a tournament, and then how would you determine who moves on to rounds?
I believe that we've had a tournament before. I think we're actually doing a tournament with Caffeine soon for the newer class of rappers on the URL. You get a feeling for who won and lost a battle sometimes, but for the most part, a lot of battles are very debatable, and it's good that way. Some battle rappers would like to have wins and losses, but it's so easy to say that the other guy won sometimes. So
right,
but for the most part, it's just 3 rounds versus 3 rounds, and
I guess in any art form, you can't have an objective winner and loser, right or wrong, right?
Exactly.
It's so funny when you guys first came to Caffeine. I remember the day that we got everybody coming in talking to us, and I was like, "We're gonna get roasted. We're gonna roast us." I was sure we were gonna get roasted.
That's
so supportive.
I was gonna say the same. Yeah, I was like, they're gonna be very good at roasting people, and they're gonna I was like, I hope they don't say mean things. But I found this community is extremely supportive. You guys have been nothing but nice and supportive.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you don't get a lot of baseball fans chucking baseballs at you when you're walking outside. So battle rap community, they do try their hand at what we do, and they like the whole thing of roasting, but at the end of the day, it is very much like the battles itself. It's respect. At the end of the day, it's love. You go to events, it's like the most beautiful experience, man, because everybody is, they love you and they support you, and it's an awesome battlefield.
That's a good analogy. I guess you also don't see boxers just running around punching strangers.
Or fans of boxing, I just learned Mike Tyson's overhand.
right.
Coming right over the top,
Yeah.
All right. Well, when did you actually begin listening to hip hop?
I began listening to hip hop, I would probably say when I was around 11 years old. I have an older sister, and she was a gigantic Tupac fan. So Tupac was really the first hip hop artist that I listened to, became obsessed, stole all her burnt CDs. And, but yeah, I mean, through then, I've always listened to music in general. I love every type of genre, from, rock to rap to emotion heap and, the whole 9. But yeah, hip hop at around 10 years old.
Emotion heap, I can't separate from that SNL sketch, the Dear Sister one. Have you seen that one?
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't know if I saw that.
Oh, it was the what you
Do
say?
I want to? Because I love emotion.
Oh, probably not then. No.
Probably not.
As long as they left hide and seek alone.
No, it was that song.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was like Andy Samberg. It was one of the older ones. But they would just shoot each other, and every time they would shoot someone, they would play that song.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was a goof on the OC, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Every shot was like,
yeah.
Oh my god, that was actually amazing, and I'm definitely watching that after this.
So other than Tupac, what are some of your other main influences?
I mean, Tupac and Eminem were like the first two that I listened to. I mean, DMX, Jay-Z, Nas, all those guys around that time. You know, I became so obsessed with the art form. I wanted to go for the best and listen to the best. It's gotten, you know, wider range as of late. Really, it's really like I know more songs than I do the faces today.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, all the classics and great rappers for sure influenced me to then start writing at 14. When I was 14,
Nice.
I started making music, and it's actually funny, when I got into battle rap, I had stopped making music for 4 years, and I wanted to get back into it, and my friend was like, "Hey, you should do a rap battle."
I feel like I would be so scared if I hadn't been writing music in a while to like go up against someone else.
I know, yeah. You go from music to battling somebody. It's very different.
Well, how did your first rap battle go? Was that scary? Did you do well?
Well, the first rap battle on camera, I had rap battles before. You know, people that don't rap, I feel like battled in high school and like just
Right.
on the baseball fields and stuff like that. My first battle on camera, I got punched in the face.
Wow.
I got punched because I beat this kid. He was a kid. He was young, and the host of the league that I was rapping for, he had actually been on TV for doing that. There was a big like battle where like something crazy happened, and a punch was thrown, and the kid that I was battling, I was beating him so bad, he literally thought that if he had done that to me, that he might get famous. That is not what professional battle rappers do. We
Right.
understand the job. We understand what it's about. But yeah, I got punched and I was like, okay, well, I'm done with battle rap. That was cute. And then the first week went by and it had 450,000 views on YouTube. And I said,
Whoa.
I think I'll do it. I think that kid was stupid. I think he understands.
Yeah, I guess in a way that kind of proves that you did a good job if you riled him up enough to punch
yeah.
you.
Well, that was the best part about it. The YouTube comments was filled. I mean, the title of the battle is Mike P beats dude so bad that he throws a sucker punch. And they hailed it the worst sucker punch in the history of the internet. So that was
There you go.
It was
Perfect.
You know, bittersweet, but
Right.
you know, it was a beautiful experience. And then from then on, you know, it was a 3-year climb of battling on certain leagues until URL picked me up, and it's been history.
So Tony Santana, Tony Santana had a really good question. I'm sure that the getting punched in the face was a very memorable opponent, but yes. Who was your most memorable?
My most memorable is Daylight. Daylight at the time was, I mean, it still is like my inspiration. I always thought he was the greatest. He was like an icon to me. And it was my second year of URL. I just had a great performance against someone named Tink the Demon. I had went viral for a Street Fighter performance, and you know, I was white hot, and URL gave me the call and asked if I wanted to battle Daylight, and that was his return. That was his debut on the URL, and you know, literally standing across from, you know, who I looked at as the greatest, who I looked at as a friend. You know, that was definitely the most important and best battle I've ever been in.
How that's interesting. Like, how battle rapping someone who you're friends with, does that affect your friendship outside of it? Are there ever moments where you're like, ooh, that was like
that I mean, you think it would. Obviously, you know, you listen to the things that we say to each other. It's
right.
Not pretty, but we understand. We know what this is about. There are boxers that are friends. There are mixed martial artists. There are friends with each other, and you know, we'll kick each other in the chin. So, you know, some words, you know, exchanged back and forth for a better, you know what I mean, to benefit us both. You know, everyone's in it for the same reasons. You know what I mean? We're trying to climb the ranks. We're trying to be successful. We're trying to make this our 9 to 5. You know what I mean?
Right.
Our career, you know, something that we want to live off of. So everybody gets it at the end of the day. There are, you know, sometimes people are like, you know, I didn't do that, or, you know, you do that. But, you know, it's hugs at the end of it. It really is. There's a lot of respect shown for such a violent art form.
Right. I guess if you take that home with you, you probably couldn't get very far by doing it.
Yeah, no. I mean, it would scare you to write. It would scare you to go into the next battle because, you know, you don't want to hear something, or you don't want to, you know what I mean? And then emotions cannot play a part in your performance. Even when you're getting you know, there's been times where I'm up there and my opponent is rapping and I am melting on the inside. 'Cause I know he's kicking my butt. I know the crowd's yelling, get him, don't stop, don't stop. And I'm just like, you have to be stone-faced and you have to focus on, you know, it's your turn and you're better and, you know, you're going to prove that.
Has that mindset, like, have you had to work to get to that outlook?
Yes. Yeah, very much so. On and off the stage, you know, when you go from nobody, you know, knowing who you are to a lot of people that you don't know knowing you know, it's very hard to get used to social media. It took me a couple years to stop responding to everybody and listening to comments and caring what people are saying. It took a couple years to learn how to keep my composure when I'm losing, or, you know, when I'm losing a round. I don't really lose, but let me I'll tell the story. But yeah, I mean, you know, when you're losing a round, you know, there was a specific battle that I know I had lost, and the way I had acted was so rookie. You know what I mean? I was being like, oh man, or like shaking my head, you know, looking the part that I was losing. And, you know, learning experiences, that was one of the best things that ever happened. So, you know, it took a couple years for that, a couple years for the social media, but yeah, I'm stone-faced now.
Right.
Well, I mean, Marone had a really good question. We've been getting a lot of really good questions in the chat.
Awesome.
Is there a film or TV show that shows the life of a battle rapper accurately?
Which is to say, how accurate is 8 Mile?
Yeah.
8 Mile. Well, I mean, it's different. Obviously, this is a cappella as opposed to, you know, like on beat that 8 Mile was. I mean, it's a pretty accurate assumption, to be honest. It's a pretty accurate representation because, you know, on one end, you know, 8 Mile has the tension of what it is to be in a rap battle, the tension of, you know, Eminem going to throw up. I've almost threw up. I know battle rappers that have. It is a tough thing to do. And then on top of that, showing Eminem living a normal life. You know, for a lot of battle rappers, we walk in and we're Superman for the weekend. And then when we get home, you know, it's back to, you know, whether a 9 to 5 or something like that. So I think it represented beautifully, you know, both sides grinding to be that person and then, you know, dealing with it when you are thrown to the wolves and you're in that cage.
Is that like the only media that really showcases battle rap?
Well, I know I believe so. I think there's like a show on Netflix that I think Smack is a part of where people like battle, but it's really just a display of it and not really representing it. I know there was a film Bodied that had come out that had battle rappers in it. I don't know if that represented it as much as 8 Mile. I would really point to 8 Mile as far as just not the visual of the beats and a DJ and things like that, but the realness of what it's like to prepare, what it's like to have somebody, you know, beating you, the crowd being nasty and yelling at you and stuff like that. And then, you know, the outside part of it, getting back home and you know, having to do it all over again.
But the real thing, only URL.
Only URL. Can't copy respect, baby.
All right, so you know we know a little bit about gaming. We like to game. We like to play games, and we know you like to game as well. So, are you enjoying Warzone? I know you're playing Warzone.
Cake, I'm loving it actually. I've been a COD player forever. I was a little, you know, weird about it when I heard that they were doing a battle royale, but from what I know, this, you know, COD's taken over as far as the battle royale part. So it's awesome. It really is awesome. And you know, having the opportunity to be able to stream on this platform is just beautiful. I'm actually trying to get used to playing as good as I usually do with the stream on, because you know that's a tough thing to do, and
it's hard.
I'm figuring it out when you got the ring light in your face, and like I feel like I'm at a battle. Like I feel like I'm like ready to perform. So yeah, but I've been getting used to it, and you know it's awesome.
Yeah, I just feel like my IQ just cuts in half when I'm streaming.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then I'm always like looking at the comments. And
it's like before I started streaming, I didn't realize how exhausting it is because it uses like your whole brain. You know.
Oh yeah, I cut it off and I'm like ready to go to sleep. It's 9:30. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, long day. long day in the cubicle.
Yeah. And then I'll tell like my roommates, like, yeah, I'm exhausted for streaming. And they were like, you were just playing video games all day. And like, you don't get it.
People, they don't get it.
Very hard to relate to, I feel like.
Absolutely. And the cognitive functions that
right.
You get when you're playing, it's it stimulates for sure. But when you finally pull out of that matrix of streaming and playing, it's like your brain's like, all right, no more thinking for the day.
Right. Are there any other games you like streaming?
I have not streamed Fortnite yet. I did like Fortnite. I think the new season and some of the things they've done as far as adding AI, kind of stepped away from it a little bit, but I have no idea what Animal Crossing
is. It's so good. We love Animal Crossing.
I love
so good.
Animal
you just
Crossing.
Sit on a tire and
you literally you just vibe. That's the whole game.
I know. That's I had someone I believe Jo was breaking it down to me yesterday. You just hang out. You just create a world and you just walk.
It's a good creative outlet.
Yeah, especially with all the games. Yeah, absolutely. Good creative outlet. And then on top of that, most games are so like violent and crazy. And it seems like that one's why don't you just sit down, relax.
Right.
Is there what is your earliest video game memory?
Oh, my earliest, I remember going to the deli and playing Streets of Rage on arcade and Mortal Kombat, things like that. I would say the first game that grabbed me, Pokemon Red.
Oh,
I would say 96, 7 years old. And yes, I do have a GBA emulator on my iPhone. And yes, I do play. I just started Leaf Green. I've beat them all already. I just keep going. Can't stop. It's beautiful nostalgia. Pokemon grabbed me for sure. That was the first game that was like, oh, wow, this is incredible.
Sapphire was mine.
Sapphire, yes. And I am 31 now, and I still playing. Love it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I feel like they're maybe this is the nostalgia talking, but I still feel like the Game Boy Advance era is better than the newer ones.
Yes, what's wild is I tried the Nintendo DS ones, like the Pokemon White or Pokemon Black, and they were it wasn't the feel. It was just weird. I didn't like the 3D aspect of it. It was very strange. It just didn't. I was completely disconnected from what I knew Pokemon to be from 1996 to now. It's just completely different. But
I will say, if you're gonna play a DS one, they had Heart Gold and Soul Silver because those were remakes of just Gold and Silver.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think those are my favorites.
Yeah, those are fire for sure.
Yeah,
those are great. I love the I think it's Crystal, where you could go to all 16. You could go to Johto.
Yeah,
and Kanto. That was, oh man, that's a beautiful game.
Yeah,
for sure.
So Jo had a really good question. What are interests outside of battle rap and gaming? Do you have other hobbies?
Nah, not really. I try to exercise, I guess, as much as I possibly can. But other than that, I'm so deep into both aspects right now, especially just partnering up with you guys and figuring out the streaming side. That is beautiful, by the way, because with battle rap, I almost get to relive the journey of being new in something and seeing how far I could take it. You know what I mean? It reminds me of when I first started battling, and I don't tend to have an ego, but if you do, you got to check it at the door when you start something new, because I got 25,000 followers on Instagram. Why isn't anyone watching my stream? You have to understand, you're new to it. And I love that feeling. I always love that feeling of just being new to something and seeing how far you could go with it,
Yeah.
And those are as much hobbies. Those are, how time consuming any of those hobbies could be. So I ain't got no time for no other hobbies.
On a similar note, how are you holding up during quarantine? Are you staying sane, losing your mind? What's going on?
I think it's a combination of both. Yeah. You have your moments, but I'm doing fine. I've been in a good position. Unfortunately, there are people that are not so, well off with the situation and things that are going on. And, it is tough for sure. But, luckily I'm still able to work, still able to, do my rap stuff, do the gaming stuff. And I'm already an introvert. So, I guess it's just doubling down on what I don't mind
Right.
Yeah, I think definitely like I feel like I'm dealing with the like being alone better than a lot of people.
Yes. People are like, I've never been. I'm like, I don't.
I kind of feel like it was like a monkey's paw, careful what you wish for kind of thing. Where I was like, I don't know, I kind of just want to stay home and play video games all day. And this happened. They're like, oh, you got that.
Yeah, exactly. Now you get off the chair. It's like, all right, now what?
Yeah.
Couch.
Yeah. Well, are there any like newer games you're looking forward to, new releases?
I really want to give a Valorant a shot. That looks like a very very fire game. I've never really been a PC player. The last time I played on PC was Unreal Tournament, like a while back. But that looks like a really good game. Other than that, I'm really not sure of any other. And I'm so stingy with games. I'm so like it's either Call of Duty or Call of Duty or another Call of Duty. But obviously, as I'm streaming now, I'm sure I will start experimenting with other games, and I think that'll be cool to stream too. Just figuring out something that I haven't already played for 28 years.
Yeah, honestly, I find it more entertaining to watch people be like kind of bad or rusty at a game than really good.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
I feel like you either have to be really good or just garbage.
Yes, exactly. There's like no median. Or like be garbage with a good personality. That's it.
Right.
And you get by.
Do you have any? So if someone's trying to get into battle rap, do you have any advice for them or any advice that you wish that you heard when you were younger?
Yeah, if I were to give advice to anybody starting out, focus on yourself. Like the great Albert Einstein said, those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. Focus on you. Hey, there we go. I thought she was like, I'm sick of this. I'm leaving.
I'm leaving.
She hates him.
Yeah,
I hate Einstein. Can't stand him.
But yeah, focus on yourself. I think a battle IQ would be self-awareness as to know what's good and what's not. Learn how to filter out, what's bad and keep what's good and just focus on yourself. I would take notes subconsciously off of how other people do it. You know what I mean? Don't copy and paste, but know what works and know what doesn't, and try to figure out at least the 101 and just keep going. But know your skill. That's probably the best. That's one of my best attributes. I'm able to step outside of myself and know what I said was good and know what I said was bad. Not have that bias towards yourself to where you think everything is good, because the second you think everything is good, you're already on the decline. And I think that's what has kept me from plateauing. I constantly know that there's work to do and there will always be work to do. Don't think you got it all figured out.
That sounds like a difficult balance to maintain, like not wanting to be overly confident but also not being too hard on yourself.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Of course, yeah. You definitely have to find that balance. And there's some times where I look at the material I have for a battle and I go, I am the greatest. And then the next day I look at that same material and I'm like, I am the worst. It's just like it's a constant fight with yourself. But just know, you got to know that you're always going to go through that. You're always going to go through that. Embrace the nerves, embrace the grind, embrace the late nights of writing. It's a tough thing to do. Writing, battling, it is not easy, mentally and physically, could be debilitating at times, but there's nothing better than getting back on that stage, rapping your raps. My favorite part of every battle is the last line because just the pressure gets relieved, and then just know you got to do it all over again.
Right. So then what's the ratio in battle rap of freestyling versus prepared verses?
Freestyling versus prepared, I would honestly say probably 98% prepared, 2% freestyling. I mean, freestyling was such a heavy aspect of it in the beginning, but nowadays if you freestyle against someone that is prepared, you're in for a long one.
Right.
I think a lot of battle rappers, it's always prepared, and then maybe like the first couple lines of a round or two will be a freestyle or a rebuttal to something that your opponent has said. But all of it's written. Even the greatest freestylers in the game, people like DNA and Chef Trez, Howl the Don, you know, most if not all of their material are written, but then if you say something, you know, they'll rebuttal it for a few bars to, you know, before they get into their written material. So I'd say 98.2, 99.1 hand sanitizer percentage.
Right. Jo also just said that if you forget your bars, you have to freestyle to get it back. Is that
yeah, you can. Or people just stop, which makes it so awkward. But you know, then it makes it worse if you go to freestyle and then everyone knows he's
right.
freestyle. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's freestyle." And then like your freestyles are bad, and then it's just like you don't want to hear that boo, so you just leave.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it was so lovely to have you. Where can we watch you stream? Where can we hear from you?
Yes, you can watch me stream on Caffeine TV /I am Mike P. That is my channel. I stream from 6 to 9 Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Thursday. I do have some pop-up streams every now and then, like Friday or the weekends, but that is my schedule. Also, you can catch me on Instagram, MikeP.official, because if you put official in your name, you're cool. And, Twitter is this Mike_P. Other than that, that's where you can find me.
I'm typing all of this in the chat.
Awesome.
This?
Get me.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Give me the follows.
Yeah. All right, follow him, guys.
Right? I'm gonna diss you.
Oh no!
I'm writing for you right now.
Oh no, I knew it.
They were just laying low until we put our guard down.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Well, once again, thank you so much for coming on, and you're always supportive of this channel, which we really appreciate as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been great talking to you.
Absolutely supportive of the channel, supportive of the platform. Kate, Nathaniel, thank you guys so much for having me, and I'm very excited to keep pushing forward on this.
Oh, thank you so much.
Likewise.
For being here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. See ya.
Take care.
See you. Bye.
Bye.